Hello, everyone. I know how much you all love this manhwa, and I'm excited to announce that the third season will be starting on September 17th. I'll be uploading recaps of the new chapters as soon as they're released. In the meantime, feel free to explore other manhwa recaps available on my channels. Thank you so much for your continued support. Now, let's dive into the recap. Ilya asked Baron Charlton if he had used her as bait. In response, Baron Charlton replied that it was disappointing to hear her put it that way. He added that if Ilya and her team had completed their mission perfectly, he would have paid the agreed amount. He then urged Ilya to think carefully, reminding her that the assassination of Roman Dimitry had been ordered by His Majesty, and everyone on the continent knew that Kronos was targeting Roman. If word got out that the Kronos Empire's assassination attempt had failed, what would happen to its reputation? Ilya was stunned to hear this. Baron Charlton continued, explaining that he had simply made a rational decision and that he was actually thankful to Ilya's guild for luring Roman out of Dimitri's territory. Frustrated, Ilya tried to respond, but she suddenly began to feel ill. At that moment, she realized it must have been the drink Lucas had given her, containing a slow-acting poison designed to compel her to contact Kronos. Ilya thought to herself that Roman Dimitry was far more dangerous than Kronos had imagined. However, as Ilya looked at the smug face of Baron Charlton, she decided not to tell him about Roman. Then, Ilya collapsed to the ground. The scene shifted to Roman, who had taken down Ilya's guild members and left the area. As Roman reached the forest, he shouted for someone to come out. In response, 3 figures emerged from the trees, their bodies wrapped in bandages like mummies. They moved in front of Roman, and he asked if they were the shadows that had grown by feeding off the darkness of Kronos. In his mind, Roman thought it was as he had expected. The Kronos Emperor had mobilized their most dangerous operatives to take him down. The 3 figures charged at Roman, demanding to know when he had detected their presence. With a smirk, Roman replied that he had known from the start. He unsheathed his sword and struck one of them, but to his surprise, the attack had no effect. Roman wondered why his attack wasn't working and decided that he simply needed to move faster than his opponents. Using his lightning flash technique, he struck one of them directly, but still, his attack had no effect. Seeing this, Roman thinks to himself that these opponents are not using normal magic. The strange, unknown power they wield is something he has felt before, in his previous life in Murim, where a group of people used a forbidden power. Dark magic, which he believes is called black magic in this world. Returning to the present, Roman easily blocks their attacks and realizes that the Kronos Empire has decided to align itself with evil. Determined, he decides he will become the Heavenly Demon, who crushes evil on his way to the top, a smirk forming on his face. Roman quickly closes the distance with one of his opponents and, using his Heavenly Demon technique, punches the figure multiple times with his fists, easily taking him down. The other opponents are shocked to see how Roman stopped their regeneration, knowing that the only thing that can affect black magic that uses black aura is an attack containing divine power. Roman begins to emit his own aura, thinking to himself that these opponents' abilities must have weaknesses. The first weakness Roman identifies is that when the bodies of the shadows disappear like smoke, they are unable to phase through physical attacks as they return to their physical form. Roman realizes he just needs to strike at that moment. The second weakness is that even when these opponents are in their smoke form, a very faint mana flow remains. Although they become smoke, the connection of the mana still leads back to their center. Roman knows he just needs to break that connection. As the shadows charge at him together, Roman decides to go on the offensive. Using his Heavenly Demon art, Blood Flow, he instantly takes down one of them by smashing him into the ground. Surrounded by a purple aura, Roman declares that the martial arts of the Heavenly Demon only pursue strength, which is why they are also referred to as the martial arts of demons. Only one of the assassins remains, stunned by the defeat of his comrades. Despite mobilizing the demonic humans, they were unable to take down Roman. Fearful, the last remaining assassin realizes that this operation has failed. Realizing he must escape, even if he is the only one left, the assassin dashes toward the other side of the forest. Frightened, he thinks to himself that Roman Dimitry is far more dangerous than Kronos had anticipated. The operation was planned under the assumption that Roman was several times stronger than the testimonies from the last battle suggested, and he believed that even those precautions were unnecessary. He can't comprehend how Roman could seem like a demon, but suddenly, he collapses to the ground, confused about what just happened. It is then revealed that Roman has injured his legs to prevent him from escaping. The assassin, shocked and terrified, realizes that all the shadow members have been defeated. At that moment, Roman orders him to contact the Kronos Empire and report the situation. The assassin contacts Baron Charlton, who asks if Roman Dimitry has been dealt with. The assassin informs Baron Charlton that the operation has failed. Shocked by this news, Baron Charlton demands an explanation. The assassin reports that their assessment of Roman was completely wrong. Even though Baron Charlton deployed Kronos' main shadow forces, they couldn't even land a single strike on Roman, and their powers had no effect on him. The assassin further informs Baron Charlton that Roman is concealing his true strength. Hearing this, Baron Charlton acknowledges that Roman is indeed formidable. He tells Roman that it is truly remarkable how he attacked the base at a cork and defeated all the shadows. While admitting that his plan has failed, Baron Charlton warns Roman not to think that Kronos will give up so easily. He continues, stating that if they fail once, they will try again. If they fail twice, they will try a third time. Kronos will keep sending assassins until Roman is defeated. He asks, how long can a single person withstand the Empire's attacks? Hearing this, Roman smiles and gives Baron Charlton a final warning. He then takes down the last remaining member of the Shadows. Roman further informs Baron Charlton that somewhere in his mansion, he will find a gift, a poison to be used when Roman comes to take him down, reminding him that Kronos is not the only one skilled in assassination. Roman then tells Baron Charlton that if he truly wants to kill him, it would be quicker to declare war. Baron Charlton is shocked to hear this. Roman goes on to say that he is looking forward to seeing the Baron's face when he discovers the gift. After ending the call, Baron Charlton orders his soldiers to contact someone and search the mansion thoroughly. After searching, the soldiers report that they found no trace of an intruder, but they did discover a bottle in the warehouse. Seeing the bottle, Baron Charlton assumes it must be the poison Roman mentioned. He then orders his forces to prepare to go to Behemoth, a group known for dealing primarily with weapons like poisons, and whose antidote technology is considered the best on the continent. One of Behemoth's magicians, Matteo, is stunned after examining the bottle and informs Baron Charlton that he has brought quite a troublesome item. Frustrated, Baron Charlton tells Matteo to stop talking and check if the poison can be neutralized. Hearing this, Matteo attempts to use the antidote but is shocked to find that it does not work. Surprised, Matteo asks Baron Charlton where on earth he found such a poison and tells him that, at this moment, he cannot neutralize it. Stunned, Baron Charlton wonders who Roman Dimitry really is. The scene then shifts to the Kronos Empire Palace, where Baron Charlton informs the Emperor of Kronos about everything that happened with Roman Dimitry. The Emperor then asks Baron Charlton what he thinks of Roman as a person. Baron Charlton replies that he believes Roman is not someone who would bend. The Emperor asks if Roman might break instead, leaving Baron Charlton shocked by the suggestion. The Emperor then orders the summoning of the demons of the abyss, declaring that Kronos will show Roman what happens to those who defy the Empire. Kronos will take down Roman, whom people idolize as a hero, and make him an example so that no one will ever dare to challenge the Empire again. Baron Charlton acknowledges the Emperor's command. The scene shifts to Roman, who has returned to Dimitry. He thinks to himself that, even with the power of magic, creating an antidote for the poison will not be easy, as it is the poison of the 4 heavenly temples. Roman thinks that this will force the Kronos Empire to move cautiously. Since Dimitry might also retaliate, Kronos is unlikely to engage in mutual destruction. However, this is only a temporary measure to buy time. Eventually, war will break out, and thorough preparations will be necessary in the meantime. At that moment, Chris informs Roman that he has received an invitation from Valhalla. The letter states that Valhalla invites Roman to serve as a representative warrior to honor the spirits of the warriors at their festival. If Roman does not arrive in Valhalla by the day before the festival, which is in 100 days, it will be taken as a refusal of the invitation. Chris further informs Roman that this time the representative warrior from Valhalla is named Barbassa, one of the 12 swords of the continent, who intends to avenge the death of Earl Denver. Barbassa is a 6-star swordsman, ranked 6th in Valhalla and 11th on the continent. Hearing this, Roman thinks to himself that the dispositions of Kronos and Valhalla starkly diverge. If the Kronos Empire is known for its ruthlessness, then Valhalla represents the utmost fairness in combat. Chris then tells Roman that this is an offer that doesn't necessarily require acceptance. Now that Dimitry has become a public figure, Roman's security is more important. Roman responds by stating that, as Chris has mentioned, refusing Valhalla's invitation wouldn't cause any immediate problems. However, if he were to decline, Valhalla, which values the honor of warriors, would claim victory and tarnish his reputation. Roman further explains to Chris that he must be an absolute symbol for those who follow him and provide his people with the assurance that being with him means victory. Chris is surprised to hear this. Roman continues, saying that refusing Valhalla's invitation might avoid immediate danger, but that single refusal could create a small crack in people's faith. Therefore, Roman declares that in 100 days, he will accept Valhalla's invitation, as that is his role.